Hello and welcome to the Midnight Cut. And today we are going to talk about the notion of cursed films. The notion of a cursed film is a potent piece of Hollywood mythology, a narrative we weave to add a layer of supernatural dread to the manufactured frights of cinema. Yet, beneath this folklore lies a far more unsettling truth, a series of profound human tragedies, catastrophic accidents, and devastating coincidences that stained the productions of several iconic horror movies. These are not stories of ghosts or demons, but of fatal negligence, heartbreaking loss, and the cruel randomness of fate that occurred while cameras rolled. Exploring the tragedies behind Poltergeist, The Omen, The Exorcist, Twilight Zone the movie, and The Crow that forever intertwines these films with a legacy of real world horror. The Poltergeist franchise, a trilogy about a suburban family besieged by spectral forces, became the archetype of the Hollywood curse in the public imagination. The tragedy here was not a single event, but a slow, chilling series of losses that decimated its young cast. The lore began with a macabre production fact. To save money, the filmmakers used genuine human skeletons from a medical supply company as props. This disrespectful cost cutting measure later became the seed of the poltergeist curse narrative when death began to stalk the cast. In 1982, just months after the first film's release, 22-year-old actress Dominique Dunn, who played the teenage daughter Dana, was strangled by her ex boyfriend in a domestic violence incident and died 5 days later. The most iconic loss was Heather O'Rourke, the radiant child who uttered the famous line, "They are here." After appearing in all three films, O'Rourke fell ill in 1987. Misdiagnosed with a flu, she tragically died at age 12 during emergency surgery for an acute septic shock caused by a congenital intestinal condition. Another actor, Julian Beck, who played the terrifying ghostly preacher in the second film, had knowingly taken the role while terminally ill with stomach cancer and died in 1985. Then in 1988, Will Sampson, the memorable Native American shaman from Poltergeist 2, died from post operative kidney failure. This cluster of tragedies befalling the franchise's most vulnerable faces transformed a cinematic ghost story into a cultured byword for a production touched by death. While Poltergeist suffered from a tragic aftermath, the production of The Omen was plagued by a barrage of eerie and violent incidents that seemed to mock its subject matter, the birth of the Antichrist. The tragedies here were a mix of freak accidents and global violence that improbably intersected with the film's crew. Most famously, the film's producer, Harvey Bernhard, reported being struck by lightning not once but twice during a single round of golf while scouting locations. Special effects artist John Richardson was involved in a horrific car accident in the Netherlands that decapitated his female passenger. Upon arriving at the grisly scene, the first responder reportedly told Richardson, "You should thank the devil for sparing you." In a chilling coincidence, the accident occurred near a road sign marking the distance to the town of Omen. Beyond these personal calamities, the production seemed magnetically drawn to real world terror. The hotel in Rome, where much of the cast stayed, was bombed by a militant group. Most tragically, the film's pilot and aerial coordinator, Frank Tynes, was killed when his plane mysteriously crashed during a routine flight. This cascade of misfortunes, each echoing the film's apocalyptic theme, created an indelible perception that the project was under a sinister, intelligent shadow. The production of The Exorcist was an ordeal of injury, destruction, and death that began before filming even started. The tragedies were pervasive, creating an atmosphere of genuine suffering that many believe bled into the film's palpable dread. 9 individuals connected to the film died during its production or shortly after, including several actors as family members. A devastating fire of unknown origin broke out and destroyed the entire Georgetown bedroom set, causing a 6 week delay and massive financial loss, a disaster many saw as an ominous sign. The physical toll on the actors was severe. Ellen Burstyn, playing the mother, Chris McNeil, suffered a permanent spinal injury when she was violently yanked backward by a hidden harness during a demonic thrashing scene. The young Linda Blair, tasked with the unimaginable stress of portraying Reagan's possession, endured hyperventilation, cracked vertebra from the violent convulsions, and psychological strain from the film's intense atmosphere. The set itself became a place of palpable unease. Visitors reported feeling ill. Crew members spoke of unexplained cold spots, and a mysterious stranger, dubbed the Peace Photo Man for his anachronistic appearance in a behind the scenes photo, was seen on set but never identified. While not a single catastrophic event, the relentless barrage of mishaps, injuries, and deaths created a pervasive aura of a project under siege. The tragedy on the set of Twilight Zone, the movie, stands apart in its scale, its sheer avoidability, and its profound legal and moral aftermath. This was not a curse, but a catastrophic failure of safety that resulted in multiple homicides. During a nighttime shoot for the film's first segment, director John Landis was filming a scene in which actor Vic Morrow was to carry two child actors across a river while fleeing a US Army helicopter. In a decision that violated multiple child labor laws and basic safety protocols, Landis had the children, Mika Din Lei and Renee Shin Ye Chen, on set in the middle of the night. During the complex shot, debris from a large special effects explosion struck the low-flying helicopter, causing it to crash directly onto Morrow and the children. All three were killed instantly, with Morrow and Lee decapitated by the helicopter's rotor blades. The subsequent trial of Landis and four other crew members for involuntary manslaughter exposed a culture of reckless ambition and negligence. Though ultimately acquitted, the incident left an indelible stain on Hollywood, leading to stricter safety regulations and forever marking the film as a monument to a preventable, unforgivable tragedy. Finally, the death of Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow, in a singular devastating tragedy of mechanical negligence that echoes the earlier loss of his own father, Bruce Lee. In a scene where Lee's character, Eric Draven, is shot, a prop gun was supposed to fire a blank. However, due to a series of critical oversights, the firearm had become lethally unsafe. Earlier, a scene requiring a close-up of a bullet being loaded into a gun had used a dummy round, a real bullet casing with the powder removed but the primer intact. When this dummy was fired in the close-up, the primer's minor explosion dislodged the bullet's lead tip, which unseen lodged in the gun's barrel. Days later, when the same gun was loaded with a blank for the fatal scene, the blank's explosion propelled the lodged fragment down the barrel with nearly the force of a real bullet. It struck Lee in the abdomen, mortally wounding him. He died hours later at age 28, just days before the film was scheduled to wrap. His death was a chilling demonstration of how the illusion of movie violence, when managed with carelessness, can become tragically real, cutting short a life and a legacy with heartbreaking finality. Together, these stories range from the cruel randomness of illness and accident to the thematic freak occurrences, from a relentless barrage of hardship to the catastrophic results of criminal negligence. Labeling them as cruel is a human attempt to impose a sinister, meaningful pattern on events that are often senseless and tragic, but to do so risks diminishing the true nature of these losses. The real horror is not supernatural retribution, but the fragile line between creation and catastrophe, and the enduring human cost when that line is crossed. These films remain immortal in cinema, but they are also eternal monuments to the loved ones lost, the lives shattered, and the sobering reminder that sometimes the most terrifying stories are the true ones. If you liked this video, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. For more horror updates, stay tuned.